How you doing? I'm Jeff Caldwell. I'd like to tell you a little bit about Front Range Guide Service. We've been in business here on the Front Range of Colorado, here based out of Windsor, for going on 16 years now. It's just been a heaven sent deal. It's something that I've loved to do. It's something that I've had a passion for my entire life. Doing lots of different jobs throughout my lifetime, but this is actually really what my dream was and really what I wanted to do. I am kind of a goofball, there's no doubt about that. I always have been. I'm a cut up, just ask my wife, ask Debbie. I want to make it fun for him, even when it's not good, okay? If it's slow and the guide is a stick in the mud, that's no fun. We want to enjoy it, at least, when we go out hunting, even when it's tough. The guy wants to enjoy the hunt. So I am a goofball, but I'm probably just myself. That's just who I am. So, I like to have fun with it. That's just who I am. That's who I am. So let's enjoy it. Just enjoy our time, right? This is a whole different deal here on the Front Range. Our wintering population can sometimes exceed 250,000. We are very often only hunting traffic geese. And when I mean traffic geese, there's two types of traffic. One is something where you're setting up next to the field that they're feeding in. But a lot of times we may be hunting somewhere in between the roost and the feed field. And that feed could be going somewhere like 5 to 10 miles oftentimes, and we're maybe halfway in between. What we really want to strive to do is we not only want to provide good hunts, but we also want to glorify God through our business. We would like to actually be a light for people and be a witness for people of what Christ has done for us and dying for us and how important that is. We can do that through God's creation, through His outdoors, through hunting, and there's a great opportunity for that. And we all want to shoot limits of geese, but that is not necessarily our focus and our primary purpose. We want to see everybody get their birds, don't get me wrong there, but we want to strive to really make sure that the main thing that we're accomplishing throughout our course of our day is the experience. The experience to get in the pit and to hunt with us, and literally to have fun while glorifying God at the same time. So a typical day could look at a couple different ways. One could be, depending upon if you're staying in our lodging, we're actually from that lodging location, we will go from there to the hunting grounds. Sometimes if you're not lodging with us, we're going to meet them at a specific location, whether that be a convenience store or wherever that may be. And same type of process, you're going to follow us to the field from there. We'll set up a decoy spread. We're going to get in the pit. We're going to hunt. If in fact we don't capture everything we need to get for that morning, we're going to take a lunch break, and a lot of times we'll be right back out in the pit for the afternoon. Almost, and I'd say 99% of our blinds, 99% of them are all pits. Pit blinds under the ground with hard pit lids on top. You're out of the wind. It makes a huge difference just getting below ground. A lot of times even when it's cold outside without a heater. So it's normally a pretty comfortable deal. Hunting with us is that you're not laying on the cold ground. You're not laying on a backboard somewhere, something of that nature. The pit, as far as the quality of the hunt, in my opinion, double or triples your opportunities. Our pits are a special design. It's a design that I came up with years ago. They're a little skinnier than a lot of other pit blinds, and therefore they hide extremely well. Until those lids open up, the birds have zero idea generally that anything is happening. Until the pipes come out of the ground, then they know they're in trouble, right? But until that point, generally the birds, there's nothing out of place that they're seeing. All shots are going to be decoyed shots, which I would consider that within 30 or 35 yards depending upon the day. But very common that we may be shooting at birds that are 5 yards. There's oftentimes birds are too close. People literally miss because the patterns are so tight that they're not opening up yet. When people go on a hunt with us, they want decoying geese. And that's our one thing, is that I can't promise success and I can't promise you a limit of geese on a day-to-day basis, but what I can promise you is this, is that when you hunt with us, if you don't get opportunities at decoying geese, we will rehunt you. Now, whether that's one opportunity or 30, I don't know what that looks like throughout the course of the day. But that is our goal, is to make sure that you get opportunities at decoying geese, birds that are committed to the decoys. We want to create lifetime memories with these people, whether it be a kid's first goose, or maybe a woman that has never been with her husband before, but she wants to go on her first goose hunt. Our primary goal would be to encourage that experience that they're going to remember for a lifetime. Okay? That's what we want. We want to not only do that, but we want to glorify God through it. We want to be a light to them through that. And our second goal would be to shoot some geese. So going into year 2024 here, we actually incorporated a lodge into our business. That's the equation that we've missed for a lot of years. And to be quite honest, I mean, we get a lot of guys coming from out of state. They're looking for a place to stay, obviously. There's so many aspects of that make it nice. Number one, it gives us that central location to meet our clients, to move forward and go into the fields from that location. The place is incredibly nice. I mean, it's incredibly nice. But the other aspect, it gives the clients a place to deal with birds, after the hunt. It gives them a place to relax, to kick back, to not necessarily have to, nobody wants to go sit in a hotel room up at the Super 8 and, in a double bed hotel room and just sit there. This place has everything. You can sit there and look over, if you get done early, you can look over the river bottom there. You might see, you could potentially see a whitetail or a mule deer or a turkey or mallards or Canadas or whatever. You have that scenery that you can kick back and sit out there. They can sit by the fire, they can relax, they can just, it's that aspect that we've always lacked here, to where we've always had to just put people up in hotels and stuff like that, which is fine, but this gives it that little extra, that nicer accommodations, and that place that is just, it's great. The building itself, the fort, it's awesome. It actually looks kind of like the Alamo. So it's got a courtyard around it, and then it's got a beautiful big interior portion of there that has rooms on the lower and the upper floor, with a big dining area, a big kitchen, and then 2 great rooms on each side. So the fort. It's been there for a lot of years, and they did a complete revamp and remodel on the property. It's lit. It's 5-star. I would say nothing else other than that. It's 5-star. I've been guiding goose hunts now for 26 years. Goose hunting has changed here on the Front Range of Colorado. There is no doubt about that. And for a lot of people that don't even know, back in the 50s, there was a guy that started with 9 Canada goose eggs in Fort Collins to build our resident flock, which has blossomed, obviously. Thousands of resident geese now that stay here, and that resident flock has attracted the migrant geese, which when I was a kid, we didn't have a lot of migrant geese here. You might see them, but they'd be pen dots going over, headed south. They didn't stop here. And this is a water-rich agricultural area up and down this Front Range, which is honestly a lot of urban sprawl, a lot of golf courses, cemeteries, all that kind of stuff. Has become a mecca for waterfowl here. But when I was a kid, we didn't have that. As a matter of fact, growing up, when I was a kid, I remember me and a couple of buddies, and we had 10 dozen goose decoys between 3 of us. And we were known in the area of having a gigantic spread. And they were all shell decoys. They were all Tim Grounds. Loved that man. But he would be proud. They were all super mags and mags, man. That was the way we went. I remember years ago when he was here at a calling contest, he said, y'all need to do something different here. You need to get away from them full bodies, go back to them super mags and mags. You're going to start killing these geese again. You know what? They still do work. But back in the day, boy, that was the big thing. Matter of fact, there was no full. I remember when Big Feet came out. I couldn't afford them. Bigfoots came out. We made plywood silhouettes and painted them black and white. That was what I spent my summer doing, was building silhouette decoys. That is just, that is snowballed to no migrant geese stopping here in Colorado to now at peak migration 250 plus thousand migrant geese up and down the Front Range here that spend the whole winter here. So it's changed. And the little ones, we didn't get little geese here. There were big geese. That was all we got. We had our big resident Canada geese, and then after Christmas, between Christmas and January, we would get a push of big ones out of Montana. And now agricultural changes have changed all that. There's now in areas up there, I think, where they used to have like nothing but grass, hay meadows. Now it's farmed in grain crops. And those big geese, we just don't get them anymore. Everything's changed. This whole game has changed from no goose hunters on the Front Range, no pressure, to pits in every field. There was very, very little pressure on goose hunting here as I was in high school. When I was in high school, it was like not that many people goose hunted. Now, everybody goose hunts, it seems like, here on the Front Range. And here's another thing that's changed on the Front Range. I'll tell you what, there are some good goose hunters on the Front Range of Colorado. Because here's the deal. If you're not a good goose hunter on the Front Range of Colorado, you will not shoot geese on a consistent basis. It just doesn't happen. Because they are not easy. They are not easy here on the Front Range of Colorado. There's no doubt about it. So it has created this whole different form of goose hunter. The kids that can all blow goose calls now, the people that all have big decoy spreads. Everybody's running giant decoy spreads anymore. So our goal is, a lot of times as an outfitter here, is that we just strive to be just a little bit different. Pay a little bit more attention to detail, be a little bit more different, do something different, because that's what we have to do in order to make sure that we shoot these geese. There's a ton of work involved in this. Everybody says all the time, they say, man, you're the luckiest guy in the world, you get to go goose hunting every day. My response to that is that, you know what, if you do it for about 80 or 90 days, it does become a job. There's so much into that. There's all the prep, all the blind prep, pit digging, the landowner relationships. All of those things, let alone the driving around, the scouting. We're constantly, any day that I'm not in the field or one of the other guys is not in the field, somebody has got boots on the street and they're looking. We are trying to get under those birds. We're trying to do everything we can to make sure and ensure that each and every client that comes and hunts with us has a good hunt. I've always loved waterfowl hunting. I've always enjoyed waterfowl hunting. That was a passion of mine. It was crazy though, the older I got, the more I really just didn't even care to shoot one anymore. I didn't have to shoot one, but I enjoyed the birds. I enjoyed God's creation. I enjoyed watching that flock of mallards backpedaling over a slough, or watching that big flock of geese working the decoys and coming in. That was something that I still have a passion for. And as a guide or an outfitter, if you lose that passion and it's all about the money, that's when you probably better think about doing a different profession. I'm old, my body's sore, I'm tired, but I'll tell you what, I still have that passion for it. And when I started my business, it was like, you know what, I think God created me to do this. I've had a lot of jobs over my life, but I think that was something that I was created to do. Why? I'm not real sure as to why he created me to do that, but I'm hoping it's so I can show that to others, so that I can give that gift back to others and show them how awesome God's creation is, how awesome all that is. I'm hoping that maybe that's why he did that, is he said, I want you to share with other people what that's like. And I think God wants me to be a light for other people, wants me to be a witness for other people. In a business and in a game where that's not the case at all. I want to be different. I want to be different, and I want to be what God designed us to be, which, man, I'm a far cry from that, but I want to make sure that I'm providing that for people. I'm providing that avenue for people in a business that is not known for that. Is not known for that. As far as Colton and all the guides in my business, I love to see that strong passion for waterfowling. And all my guides are guys that, even on their day off, which is beyond me, but on their day off, they'll go goose hunting. They have that strong passion. They have that passion, that's that drive that makes them want to get out, makes them want to hunt, makes them want to get better. Want to get better at calling and figuring out decoy placement and all these things. That's something that is extremely important in a guide. If they're just in it for the money and just in it to just get by and get rid of the clients and then on to the next one and don't care about the clients, don't care about any of that, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. I want people that truly care about other people and have a good heart, and as well as have that passion and have that desire to try and figure out how to decoy those geese, try and figure out those little nuances that, that we're always working on. We're always tinkering, the mad scientists, let's adjust the decoy spread. Let's put the decoys this way or that way or whatever. Those are the kind of people that I want. I want those thinkers that are constantly thinking like that are thinking, hey, it's cold and it's 20 degrees and there's 4 inches of snow on the ground. Birds aren't going to be up walking around. They're going to be laying down. They're going to be quiet. I want those kind of guys that are so enveloped in the trade that they're doing the right things that they need to be doing on a day-to-day basis to assure that our clients are getting their best opportunities they can. There's one verse that has really stuck to me and stuck in my head since I started my business 16 years ago. And that's Philippians 4:6. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything with prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. That verse has really stuck in my head, and the reason it's stuck in my head is, as I spoke about briefly there, we can control the controllables, the things that we can do, whether it's that pit looking good and that decoy spread or that calling, all that preparation that we do, the scouting, all that stuff. We can control that, but in reality, God is truly the one that's in control of all that too. We're not in control of any of that. It's interesting. When I first started my business 16 years ago, and people may find this interesting, I want success for our clients so much that I used to go down in the morning, and after I'd take a shower and my gut would be rolling, I would literally have the dry heaves. I would almost throw up when I first started my business because I wanted people to be that successful. The interesting thing is that back then, my focus was more towards the success in killing a big line of geese. Now my focus is more in, let's make sure that they have a great experience in the outdoors, a lifelong experience that they experience with their kid or their wife or whoever that may be, their buddies. That is more important now than that big line of geese. That verse, be anxious for nothing, that's hard. When you're a guide and you wake up in the morning, your guts are twisting and turning and you are always tied in a knot until those first few birds are on the ground. And even then, only when it's it's just a few birds that you've shot and it's a slow day. Man, that's tough. That is extremely tough. But you know what? When you rely upon Christ and you know that he is the one that's sovereign and he's the one that's in charge, I'll tell you what, it makes that a lot easier. And over the years, in 16 years I have in my business, that has become easier and easier and easier every year. You know, we do a prayer before each and every hunt, and it's not a prosperity prayer. It's not for prosperity that we kill geese. You know what? If that's in his sovereign will, then so be it. If we shoot 25. This is not our final home. This is not what it's about. It's not about this planet. It's not about, as great as it is, as great as God's creation is, those awesome waterfowl that he created, that I love so much, that we love so much, and love to watch and see them and hear that wind ripping through their feathers as they're decoying. Whew, man, it gets the juices flowing, right? That is awesome. But what's more awesome is that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and he created everything in it, including me, including you, including all of us. That, if you wrap your head around that, it doesn't have anything to do with anything on this earth or on this planet. God sent his son to die for us on this planet, but it has nothing to do with this planet. How cool is that? But yet he gives us all these cool things, you know, all the possessions that we're merely just stewards of. Everything we have, we're stewards of. It's not ours. Pickup's not mine. This business is not mine. It's all God's. We're just stewards of it. But understanding and grasping that is huge. And I'll be honest, I've not always been that way. I have not always been there. But my goal is to get better at understanding that. Become closer with Christ to where that really matters. And it really matters that we're witnesses. That's big. That's big. God puts those people in our lives, brings them on guided goose hunts. I'm convinced of that. I'm 100% convinced of that. That he brings those people on those goose hunts to where they go, hey, they're a little bit different. Why are they different? Why do they have a different outlook on life? Why do they look at this sport and waterfowl hunting in a different light than other people? And that's what I want to see. That's what I want to make our goal, to increase, to show those people that that's what we want to do with our business. There's not one person that's too far gone. There's not one person that's not worthy. Christ covered all that sin when he, with his death and resurrection, he covered that sin for us on the cross. None of us are worthy. Absolutely none of us in this entire world are worthy of what Christ did for us. None of us. We're not going to be perfect. No one's going to be perfect. You know why? Because we can't be perfect. Because there's only one that can be perfect, and that was Christ. So as far as an answer to what do I say to somebody like that? Come on. Jump in. The water is warm. Jump right in with me, because I'm a mess. We're all a mess. You need to jump right in. Get right in here with us. And at the same time, we might even shoot a goose. That's what it boils down to. That's what it boils down to. Jump right in with all of us, because we're a mess. Who knows? Goose hunt might even break out in the midst of it.